Okay, everybody, off your phones, back to the warm-up again. So the length of a rectangular flower garden is 6 feet more than twice its width. Write an expression to represent, this one was perimeter, we already did this. And okay, so now we need to find, we're given the area as 56 square feet. Find the dimensions of the garden. Okay, so if you know that, make a picture. Make a rectangle. You know that the area, 56. Okay. You know that the width is just W. You know that the length is what? 2W plus 6. 2W plus 6. Okay. So we have to be able to find what W is. All right. How did we find area? Length times width, right? Okay. So if your area is 56, your length is 2W plus 6. Your width is just W. You have to multiply those two together. What's W times 2W? 2W squared. And then what's W times 6? 6W. Now, how would you classify this polynomial now? It's a quadratic. That's what we've been doing. That's what we've been solving, factoring. So guess what you have to do? Solve for W, but you do that by either factoring, completing the square, or using the quadratic formula. Now, quadratic formula is my least favorite, but it always works. So that's what we're going to use here. So how do you use the quadratic formula? You have to find A, B, and C. So I have to move the 56 over to get this in standard form in order to find what A, B, and C are. So I'm going to subtract 56. So we have 0 equals 2W squared plus 6W minus 56. Okay. I would try to factor, but I don't think this one factors. You know that the quadratic formula works every time. So A is 2, B is 6, C is negative 56. Okay. So the quadratic formula says you have negative B, so negative parentheses 6, plus or minus the square root of B squared, so that's going to be 6 squared, minus 4 times A, which is 2, times C, which is negative 56. All over 2 times A is 2. Okay. If you simplify this, what do you get when you just plug in 6 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 56? What do you get? The square root of what? 484. Is that a perfect square? Right. So the square root of 484 is 22. So we have negative 6 plus or minus 22 divided by 4. Okay. So you end up getting, when you solve that out, you end up getting a 4. And you end up getting negative 7. When we're dealing with dimensions here, you're not going to have a negative value. So you can cross out the negative 7. Sorry, you can't see. So W here is just 4. So if I know W is 4, what do I have to do to find the actual length and width? Plug it in. So you know W is 4. What's our length? 2 times 4 plus 6. What's 2 times 4? 8 plus 6. 14 is our length. Because we're dealing with dimensions of a garden, you're not going to have a negative dimension. Okay, so this, that's highly unlikely to happen because you have a positive and a negative version right here because of those two things. All right, next we have this weird figure and we have to find the area of the figure. Yeah. My board stopped working. Yeah. Take break. Another break. Okay. So you need the dimensions in order to solve this, and I have them. Huh? 4 was W and 14 was L. Great. We are still recording. Okay. All right, so Simon, going back to this question, you said, how did I get 14? 2W plus 6 is your length. If you plug in a 4 here, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. Right, so this figure, you need a little bit of information. So this side is 5x minus 6. Yeah, sure, yeah. This is x. This is 2x plus 4. This side is 3x minus 8. Okay, so whenever I'm finding the area of this kind of figure, I split it up into two figures I'm familiar with. So I'm going to split this up into two rectangles. I'm going to find the area of this one first, and then I'm going to find the area of this one next. A1 and A2. Then I'm going to add those two together. So, how do we do this? How do you find area? Length times width. This should be 5x plus 6 on the top. Okay, so you find area by doing length times width. So on A1, it's just going to be x times 5x plus 6. Okay, so my question for you, if this entire side is 3x minus 8, you know that this part is x, right? What would this part right here be? So you're going to subtract out that x. You're going to do, Michael, what did you say? 2x minus 8. So this part right here is just 2x minus 8. So how we find the area of the second rectangle, you're going to do 2x minus 8 times 2x plus 4. And then your total area, you would just add those two together. All right, so do you see this top triangle, not triangle, top rectangle? And do you see that this part, we established this was x. So over here on the other side, this is x as well. But the whole thing is 3x minus 8. So this section right here is 3x minus 8 minus that x. Okay. So you would just multiply that out. A1, what's x times 5x? 5x squared. What's x times 6? 6x. Okay. And then if you multiply that out, 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 4 is 8x. Negative 8 times 2x is negative 16x. Negative 8 times 4 is negative 32. Okay, so we have 4x squared. What's 8x minus 16x? Minus 8x minus 32. So you're going to combine the two things that I underlined. So the total area is A1 plus A2. What's 5x squared and 4x squared? 5x squared plus 4x squared? 9x squared. And then 6x minus 8x, negative 2x, and then minus 32. If you had to find x, you would solve, but it's just asking for the total area here. So on the last one, you need the dimensions. Well, we have a few more examples. So this little rectangle is 3, and then x plus 2. The bigger rectangle is 2x plus 1 and 11. How do you find the area of the shaded region? So you're going to take the big area minus the small. So for the bigger rectangle, that's just 11 times 2x plus 1. For the smaller one, that's 3 times x plus 2. So let's figure that out. What is 11 times 2x? 22x. What is 11 times 1? 11. Minus. What's 3 times x? What's 3 times 2?